Good evening and warm welcome to all. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. I now request our Dean, School of Computer, Information and Mathematical Sciences, Dr. Venkateshan Selvam, convener of this FTP, to give the welcome address.
Mr. Manoj, I am audible now?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the invitation. 1 week FTP program on data science, which is scheduled from 21st September to 25th September, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, School of Computer, Information and Mathematical Sciences, sponsored by the AICT and ATAL. It's a valedictory session. To grace this valedictory session, we have the guest, Mr. Imtiaz Sharif, who is a director, Ideation Technology Solution. As a dean of the school and the convener of the program, I take this immense opportunity in welcoming the guest for this valedictory program of FDP on data science.
Thank you, sir.
And then we have a learned professor and head, Dr. E. Syed Mohammed, who is a coordinator of the program on data science. I welcome you for this valedictory ceremony. And then co-coordinators, organizers, the faculty members of our school, of our institution, and the active participants from all over the nations who made the correspondent visibility. As a dean of the school, I extend this warm welcome for this valedictory function on faculty development program, data science. Few words with respect to the valedictory function on data science I'd like to share in this August gathering, because it is one of the paradigm shift in the industry 4.0, which is making the revolution in the industry sector and requirement. I hope this FTP conducted by the Department of Computer Science and School of Computer Information Mathematical Sciences fulfilled all the requirements which is expected by the participants. Just we have initiated the concepts and the thought in the field of data sciences. I request the participants to disseminate this information to the needed community and master in the subject of data science, which will achieve more career opportunities as well as the employment opportunity. That is my kind suggestions in this valedictory schedule. As a dean of the school, I like to thank the coordinator, especially Dr. E. Syed Mohammed, for his enormous effort in conducting this program, along with a team of good supported faculty members, especially Mr. Manoj, Akila, and then Mrs. Madina Banu, and Brinda Marine, all the organizing committee members and the faculty members of CSC. With this, I like to conclude the welcome speech. Thank you very much for this opportunities. Have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. The teamwork under the guidance and motivation of our HOD, Dr. E. Syed Mohammed, made this FTP a successful one. I now request our beloved HOD, Dr. E. Syed Mohammed, Professor and Head CSE Department, B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, coordinator of the FTP, to present the report.
Manoj, audible?
Yes, sir.
Manoj? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Good evening to all. It is my privilege to welcome you all for the valedictory functions of FTP on data science. First, I thank to management of Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, respected Pro Vice Chancellor Sir Dr. A. Pir Mohammed, respected Registrar Sir Dr. A. Azad, and beloved Dean Sir Dr. Venkateshan Selvam Sir, to have the permission to conduct the FTP. As the coordinator of the FTP, I would like to present the outcome of ATAL faculty development program on data science during 21st September 2020 and 25 September 2020. To start with day 1, session 1, keynote address about data science was delivered by the Professor Sidbara Sinha, the Institute of Mathematical Science, Chennai. The participants were able to analyze the statistical data. And session 2, machine learning for prediction and classification by Dr. Vijay Rajan, VIT Vellore, Participants were able to identify the type of machine learning with various real-time examples, understand the difference between classification and prediction in machine learning. In session 3, Tool for Data Science by Golda Dilip, Associate Professor, SRM University, Chennai, apply the knowledge and executive statistical analysis with the professional statistical software. In day 2, session 4, Data Science in Math World by Mr. Venkatesh Prabhu, Cashews Infotech Chennai, analyze and relate critical to different sources of analyze and relate to critical to different sources of the information, data set and data process. In session 5, medical image segmentation using deep learning by Dr. Alex Joseph Raj, Professor, Department of Electronic Engineering, Santo University, China, understand apply the medical image segmentation using deep learning. In session 6, Big Data Analytics by Dilip Muralidharan, Senior Technical Instructor at Splunk, Chennai. To participate, were able to analyze the 5 V's, particularly for volume, velocity, value, verity, and variability. And day 3, session 7, face recognition algorithm and implementation with Python by Dr. Xavier Selladurai, Professor, Christ Deemed University, Bangalore, is able to implement face recognition in Python. In session 8, feature selection and data modeling, implementation with live case studies by Dr. Venkat Prabhu, Cashew Infotech, Chennai, able to do perform feature selection in Anaconda. In session 9, security automations and response by Mr. Dilip Muralidharan, again senior technical instructor at Splunk, Chennai. The participant able to apply the data science in real-time application. In data of day 4, in session 10, introduction to R programming installation and basic implementation by again Venkat Prabhu, Chennai. Participants were able to install R2. And session 11, an industry perspective of the machine learning and data science by Dr. Sudhir N. Pathak, data scientist, data analytics, Singapore, has gained knowledge and complete understanding of the machine learning and artificial intelligence with respect to the industry. And session 12, clustering and classification technique, in-depth analysis, implementation, Mr. Venkat Prabhu, Keshav Infotech, Chennai, working with various Python libraries to understand the working, prediction, clustering and classification machine learning. In day 5, LDA thresholding model selection in data science world by Venkat Prabhu, Keshav Infotech, Chennai, participant able to use LDA library in Jupyter environment. And session 14, Yoga for Stress Management, present by Ms. Rama Chandrasekhar, Viniyoga, Healing Center, Chennai, gain knowledge about the causes of stress, identify the effect of the stress, and able to practice yoga. And last session, session 15, Yoga for Stress Management, practical, asana and pranayama and meditations is given by Lara Abhishek, Viniyoga, Healing Center, Chennai, able to understand the demonstration and practice yoga for the better for the future. I would like to thank and appreciate this entire FTP, all the program committee members and organized committee members. Particularly, I would like to thank to Mr. Manoj Kumar and his continuous support and quiz prepared by the Dr. Arun Raj and feedback prepared by Ms. Vijayalakshmi Madam. For smooth running, all the committee members, Mr. Madina Banu, Ms. Agila, Ms. Abrina Madam, and Hema and Mr. Ramachandran support are very important in this occasion. Thanks all. We look forward to see you all again in forthcoming events. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I call Mrs. J. Brindamari, Assistant Professor, Senior Grade, CSE Department, to give a brief introduction about our chief guest, Mr. Imtiaz Sharif.
Thank you, ma'am. A warm welcome to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Imtiaz Sharif. He has around 16 plus years of experience in IT and business consultancy. He has played various roles such as technical lead, business analyst, project management consultant on various mobile application projects, enterprise solutions, e-commerce solution, digital and social marketing. He completed his bachelor degree from SSM College of Engineering and his master degree from BS Abdul Rahman University. He started his career as a senior project engineer in Wipro Technologies. He has also worked for UPS Technology Solutions Business and he was a business analyst for Shukera WebLogic e-commerce services and also he was a CEO for Sync Technologies. Currently, he is the director of Ideasm Technology Solutions. He is also the principal consultant and creative head of Ideasm Business Consulting and Creatives. His domain and expertise include digital marketing, social media analysis, and marketing. To add on, he has also published various research papers under his area of interest on various reputed journals. Now I request Mr. Imtiaz Sharif to talk a few words about this.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. Thank you to Dean Dr. Venkat Selvam and HOD Dr. Syed Mohammed for giving this opportunity. Manoj, can you enable the presentation for me so we can share the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, good afternoon, one and all. For past 5 days, you would have dig deep into various aspects of data science, what kind of analytics, algorithms, the more detailed insight you would have had in the last 1 week. The whole idea of this shorter session will be to give a perspective as to what is happening in exact current context and how the future is evolving and what is going to influence it. So at a very broad level, everybody knows the overlapping domains of mathematics, computer science, and whichever domain of healthcare or financial, wherever you get to apply data sciences. It is at the culmination of all these domains where the core aspect or involvement of data science truly makes sense. And what has happened in the past 5 to 6 years is that the notion of AI and ML has become more commonplace and easy to implement, and more it has moved away from the being a research oriented subject into a practical or application oriented approach. So we are seeing a culmination of data sciences leveraging being very strongly leveraged in AI, ML and a deep learning perspective. So these are some of the things that fundamentals where during the FDP also you would have gone through various approaches, various algorithms or the methodologies, various tools available, packages. All that is summary of what is happening currently. But how is it going to evolve? Let's say evolve in the next 5 years or next 10 years. And what are the key trends or the key factors that are influencing these changes? When I say key trends, these are not just technology trends alone. It has a lot to do with how the businesses are adopting or the government is adopting. So how the ecosystem per se, both the private ecosystem, public and governmental ecosystem, academic and research ecosystem, how these ecosystems are adapting and leveraging data sciences, that will determine what is going to happen in the next decade or so. So we will go through one of these thought process or the trends which you should be aware of, because these are going to strongly change the way the data analytics is going to be seen. One of the core aspect is the massive burst of volume. Lots and lots of data is being generated. If you can see from the picture itself, from 2013 being just 4.4 zillion ZB to 175 ZB is anticipated in 2025. So that is the kind of volume of data that we are going to look at it. But here, it is just not about the data part alone. Where exactly the data is going to reside, that thought process has significantly changed. It's changing from what it used to be in the past. Lot of migration to the cloud is happening. So if you look at this is based on the survey taken from all bigger organizations across the world, slowly the trend, if you see, on-premise physical environment is getting smaller and smaller. Less than 30% of data is only stored in the physical server owned by actual entities. More and more is going towards cloud, either cloud or it's a hybrid cloud or a off-peak cloud. So the model is evolving, and more people are going to go for complete cloud based, whether it's going to be individual or your enterprise. The data storage to cloud will have its own impact on analytics, because no longer you are looking at an analytics platform that is going to be installed on your desktop PC or in your on-premise server to do the analytics. That analytics package or the analytic ecosystem itself will coexist on the cloud, interacting with the data present on the cloud. So the whole notion of big volume of data available in the cloud will impact it, how the data analytics is going to be performed. As I was to give a more insight, no, right from 2010, if you look at even individual consumer like you and me, we are slowly moved on to putting the data onto the cloud. If you see, we take an example of Gmail itself, most of us use free Gmail, but over the years, if you have been using it, we no longer find that 15 GB of free space is enough. So a lot of people are now ready to buy additional storage space on the cloud instead of buying a hard disk or an external hard disk. So even an individual customer, the physical storage is reducing and the cloud-based storage is increasing. The same applies to public cloud usage. More and more people are going to use public cloud going forward. So this is a kind of trend that is happening in terms of storage, and this also impacts how the analytics is going to happen, whether it be at an enterprise level or a public cloud level or at a consumer level. Machine learning. Probably a 5 to 6 year back, the notion of AI and ML were still very difficult to grasp or very difficult to program per se, because of the kind of ecosystem it lacked or the kind of infrastructure it was lacking. But thanks to a lot of programming framework that have come available, a lot of volume of data that is available, a lot of readily available packages on the cloud, machine learning and machine learning platforms are taking significant growth. And if you look at what is happening in the funding world, where private investors are funding, more and more investors are funding on companies or products or platforms which are related to machine learning. So that is the kind of trend that is catching up. We have been talking about big data for past decade, but no longer it is the key market term, because big data, when we started a decade back, people used to think, no, okay, big data is meant for bigger companies. It's not for mid-level companies or governmental organization. But the trend is gone. Big data is now everywhere. A lot of integrated systems are available. High volume of data is going to be available. This volume of data brings in the question as to how is this going to be analyzed, whether it's going to be historical analysis, predictive analytics, or prescriptive analytics. What kind of analysis is going to happen? So this has an impact. It becomes going to be ubiquitous. There used to be a trend in the past, probably 20 years back, when software needs to be developed for organization, they used to have MIS reports, MIS module as a separate billable component. So developing a report itself used to be a separate project, separate financial for it. But later the trend changed. When any software was being done, reporting module was considered to be part and parcel of a software. So it was never separately built or financially committed. That is the kind of trend it is happening. Big data is there everywhere. So by default, minimal intelligence is required as a offering in software. Minimal amount of data analytics is being requested as part of the software ecosystem. Reason because now data is available. What is stopping us from doing the analytics? So that is the influence of data being pervasive. The way the demand of analytics is going to is happening will become even more drastically aggressive. As I told, big data is not just going to be the key factor. The factor is going to be fast and actionable data. Okay, what do you mean by actionable data? How can you present the data in a way it can be actionable? That is where a lot of visual analytics and a visual kind of ecosystem has evolved. So you want the data on the fly, real time or near real time, depending on the business domain that you are applying this data to. So this data needs to be presented in a way decision makers can take quick action. So this is where big data is going to emerge with other supporting technologies like IoTs, complex event processing, to make sure that whatever insights, whatever analytical information that is being churned out by different platforms can be given in a way that decision makers can make a decision with a single click of a button. So that is the kind of thought process it goes through. Again, when I say fast data, this is a summary of what organizations want. This is a survey taken from a lot of organizations. Say, what exactly do you look for in a data-driven platform or analytics-driven platform? Is that They no longer just need summaries. They no longer just need dashboard. They want them in real time. 45% of the organizations say that no, the core analytical capability should not be about analytics alone. It should be about how fast that analytics can come in. Can it give me insight into the current time scenarios? This challenge is driven not only by business organization. Large scale manufacturing organizations have started using smart software solutions, integrated IoTs. So live data is available. So their expectation is that the analysis should also be in real time. Insights that are provided should also be in real time. Okay, let's put about all this fact. So what is going to happen? In the past, so a lot of research was happening, a lot of programs, certifications, they're all focusing on big data certification, big data programs, or Python programming. Oh, they're all diverse. But now, all those have come at a very matured stage. Now people are looking for convergence of skills. The job market is going to evolve in a way how it evolved for programming languages. Just like how in the programming languages in the past, they used to look for no C++ programmer or a Java programmer or a database engineer. That trend changed and people started now looking for full stack developers. So when you say full stack developer, a full stack developer can do anything. Front end, back end, database, whichever language it is possible. So the similar kind of convergence of skill is happening in this space of data science. They just don't want, organizations just don't want your big data analytics skills alone. They also need to be aware of what is the cybersecurity impacts of it. How you can bring AI and ML thought process into big data analytics. And what kind of infrastructure or an enterprise architecture that should be in place to support this kind of analytics. Should it be on-premise architecture? Should it be cloud? It should be hybrid. That kind of thought process has to evolve. And slowly the trend is evolving. There's a trend evolving which is asking for business analysts who have strong data analytics capabilities. That means you should be strong enough to play around with the data, strong enough to do minimal amount of coding to explore the data, but you should also be expert in one or two domains, like say healthcare domain or fintech domain. So your domain knowledge and big data knowledge will go long way in deriving value to the organizations. So this kind of convergence of skills is going to happen. So all this is happening, the expectations are going to be high from solution point. When you say solution, to whomever you are going to build the solution, be it governmental organizations or private players, the expectations are going to be high in terms of how your data analytics insight will help you make decisions faster. When you say decisions faster, it is just not about the speed of the decision, but also appropriate action in the right time frame. How do you impact the security aspect? So this, whatever mentioned over here, it connects with the previous slide of convergence of skills. So this convergence will help to meet the expectations and deliver the right kind of solutions to any kind of organizations working in any kind of domain. What is current there? The analytics is still chaos. No, lot of data is fragmented. Many organizations are still no, even for we have seen being in the industry, we have seen organizations where they use anywhere from 30 to 40 different applications. Some of the older applications are in on-premise server, some of them in a third-party premise server, some of the recently developed applications are in a cloud server. The data is fragmented. So doing the analysis on fragmented data also becomes challenges and chaotic. This chaos is going to slowly go away because slowly people are moving towards complete on-cloud solutions, integrated data ecosystems. That means your analytics doesn't have to deal with fragmentation of data. So that aspect of the chaos will get resolved in the future. So that will have the impact on how analytics is going to be done on the fly. Cybersecurity. Just to give a perspective, why are even talking about cybersecurity in a data science perspective is that data is the new oil. That's what everybody keeps saying. No, data is the new oil. So that is the kind of value the data has, and the obvious threat to data is cybersecurity. To give you the very current day context, one of the job sectors in the recent lockdown of last 6 months, which was positively impacted, was cybersecurity. Almost all the organizations involved in cybersecurity business were the only businesses who were hiring during the lockdown. Every company was unplanned hiring. They made about 30 to 40% of their manpower was recently hired because of the cyber security threats faced during the lockdown period. Right from big organizations like Hyundai to US governmental organizations, a lot of data breaches were there. So cybersecurity and data analysis is going to take an overlap when you are going to look at massive data, massive number of organizations adapting to the cloud or data ecosystem. What kind of challenges? Just cybersecurity and network analytics tool alone are not going to be useful alone. Your layer of data analytics coupled with cybersecurity domain is going to help you to identify and prevent or proactively prevent cyber breaches. So this is one area that is going to significantly define or redefine the way how data analytics is going to happen in the coming decade. So these are all the various concerns that are being focused with respect to cybersecurity, and this directly has an impact. If you look at data integration challenges are the key challenge of cybersecurity. And the moment you have integration challenges on data, it also has a reflection on how your analytics is going to happen. When we talk about the fast data, real-time data, data from all the possible sources, you are going to see a mix of enabling platform working together to make this possible. One is going to be your Internet of Things. Lot of devices that are going to be connected and going to pump you with the data. And this data can be handled in a real-time manner by complex event processing platforms where real-time analytics, real-time insight, real-time actions can be built in using rule engines. And these CP engines can act as a filtering mechanism to filter out the real value data and do it in a very real time and feed it to big data analytical operations. So IoT, complex event processing, big data ecosystem coupled with data sciences is going to drive the next decade of transformation for bigger organizations. The challenges that are going to keep pushing the boundaries of research in data analytics will be more on the integration challenges. Know what kind of storage, what kind of file format, how to seamlessly do the import and export, what kind of security aspects to be considered, what kind of data structuring has to happen. So all this kind of security challenges and integration challenges will impact how data analysis is going to happen across various types of sources. Now, when you say data, it is just not your business data or transactional data alone. Everything is a data. Your security log, your database structures, third-party APIs, third-party databases you use, historical data in warehouses, web data, on the cloud advertising data, external data, the IoT generated sensor data, geolocation, social media, everything is going to come in an integrated manner, which you can play around with it and build platforms which can give meaningful insight to organizations, whether they are private organizations, big or small, or governmental organization. Just to give a context, even recently, Government of Tamil Nadu even launched a blockchain policy focusing on data from a data perspective. So that is the kind of relevance these kind of challenges have and how they are going to impact your data analytics domain per se. This may seem to be completely not a technical perspective, but this is something that is driven by today's consumeristic approach. Self-service, just the way you make a purchase online, the single click of a button, that is the kind of thought process that business users and the end users want. As a self-service as a priority, analytics can be a self-service. I don't want to write complex algorithms. I want to drag and drop components which will give me analytical insights. As a business layer, I don't want to depend on programmers to develop intellectual, very sophisticated platforms. So how can self-service analytics is possible? And this trend has been already strongly started, especially in the financial sectors, when even a lot of back office teams or teams into the commercial sector with the BCom kind of knowledge, they have been now asked by organizations to learn packages like Python, R, and Tableau, so that they don't have to depend on a programming environment to build inside. They have massive amount of data in their Excels. They can plug and play and develop their own analytical kind of dashboards. That is a kind of self-service aspiration that is going to drive the next generation of analytics. So instead of depending on programmers, can analytics be done in a visual manner in a self-service model? So that is the notion of being a citizen analyst. So this thought process will also determine what kind of platforms, what kind of programming ecosystem evolve related to data sciences in the coming years. So pretty much this. So this should give you a context as to it is just not data science or data analytics in a silo. It is not a standalone item. It has impact from lot of segments. The technology aspect of it, the business aspect of it, the domains that are adapting to it, and the kind of governmental policies that are evolving around the data. All this aspect and how far the cloud migration and adoption is happening, all these items will drive as to how data analytics will evolve in the coming decade. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
Thank you, Imtiaz sir, for your nice presentation on current scenario in data analytics and future data analytics. Thank you, sir. The roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation. I request Mrs. G. Madina Banu, Assistant Professor, Senior Grade, CSE Department, to give vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, honorable present here. Honorable Dean, School of Computer, Information and Mathematical Sciences, Dr. Venkatesan Selvam, respected HOD of CSE Department, Dr. E. Syed Mohammed, our most valued invited guest, Mr. Imtiaz Sharif, our department faculty and participants from our and other colleges nationwide. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. First of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty God for making one big event a resounding success. I, on behalf of Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Organizing Committee, B.S. Abdurrahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, thank the management for encouraging and motivating us in the conduct of AICTE sponsored adult 1 week online faculty development program on data science. I extend a hearty vote of thanks to all for gracing this occasion. I'd like to express my sincere thanks to the guest of honor, Mr. Imtiaz Sharif, for giving an excellent speech on future of data analytics. We are all inspired by your great words, sir. Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to our Dean, Dr. Venkatesan Selvam, convener of this program, and our HOD, Dr. E. Syed Mohammed, the coordinator of this program, for their support and guidance extended to all of us to organize this 1 week FDP. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dean, sir. Thank you, HOD, sir. As a committee member of this program, I thank the entire program committee member, Dr. S. Revati, Mr. Syed Abdul Syed, Mrs. Akila, Mrs. J. Brinda Marin, and organizing committee members, Dr. Arun Raj, Mrs. Vijay Lakshmi, Mrs. Hema, Mrs. Radhika, Dr. Ramachandran, and Mr. Manoj Kumar, who are fully fledged going to put their support throughout this week for the successful conduct of the FDP. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir.